Hey gamers, what's good? Not ROMs. You may have already heard that ROMs have been the target of a lawsuit, in particular by a certain company. My favorite handheld console is the DMG Classic Game Boy. Not because it's the greatest handheld, but it has a lot of great memories attached to it. Nintendo has produced some of the greatest classics and bestsellers of all time, with Mario being one of the most recognized characters along with Zelda and Pokemon. But man, let me tell you, don't mess with Nintendo. They're more hardcore than a Marvel vs. DC fanboy breakdance fight in Comic-Con during Halloween. After all, Nintendo unsuccessfully sued Blockbuster for renting out video games, specifically their video games. The YouTube show Gaming Historian did a pretty awesome video on that lawsuit. Nintendo is suing two ROM sites for $100 million. That's right, 100 million doll hairs due to copyright infringement. They want these sites shut down, and they are sending a big message. But other than Nintendo ROMs, how does this affect other consoles and emulation? Well, first off, what is a ROM? It is the data collected from a memory chip, game cartridge, or computer's firmware. It could even be from an arcade board as well. That's right guys, that thing that emulation is almost single-handedly based on. So why do we care so much? Why does it matter to us that we can't play these old games? Well, it's because we love them. And there are some great games that we, the gaming community, want to play, experience, and most importantly, preserve. Who doesn't love physical media? How many of us collect and relish the idea of getting our hands on certain games just to add to our collection or mountain of games we already have? But cartridges and consoles wear out. How many times can we refurbish the connections on an NES or swap them out? Emulation allows us to play original games while we preserve the physical classics, or even retire our consoles and still play our favorite games using emulation. We can play hacks and imported games that we may not have ever heard of or played had it not been to ROMs and emulation. Going back to my earlier question, how does this lawsuit affect emulation and ROMs? Emu Paradise, or Emu Paradise, one of the best, if not the best website for ROMs, has taken down all of their ROM links. The site began back in 2000 and no longer supports ROMs of any kind. So now what do? Well, emulation is not going anywhere. Gamers are not just going to walk away.
Walk away, stupid son of a bitch.
Nintendo has done some messed up things in the past, but they are making plenty of money, especially from the Switch, and this lawsuit may slow things down, but certainly not stop emulation. As sure as prohibition didn't stop alcohol consumption. Look guys, I get it, but these games aren't mass produced anymore. Sure, there are other options like the NES and SNES Classic, which you can add more games to, subject to modification with ROMs of course. And there are still so many games that gamers would love to play, and some of them can't get their hands on a physical cartridge without having to shell out hundreds of dollars. But shutting down ROM sites can also eliminate modified, hacked, or even original content that was placed on these ROM sites in the first place. What it comes down to is, ROMs give us, the gamers, the nerds, the furries, the chance to keep these games alive and experience new games like Japanese imports that were not previously available. I do understand Nintendo's stance on ROMs, but try, Nintendo, to understand gamers. The same people who use these ROMs still purchase Nintendo games, new and classic alike. And also, maybe that time and money can be better spent like bringing us more games and better content. There are many of you out there that disagree with me, and that's good, because internet. Some could argue and say ROMs should be public domain by now. Others will say no, they're owned by Nintendo, Sega, and so on. Or we can call each other provocative names like Thunder Thighs. But this doesn't accomplish anything. Have ROMs become, dare I say, essential to the world of gaming and preservation of gaming? Let me hear your opinion on that. Sony sued Bleem and Connectix for emulation software based on their first PlayStation in the 90s. What that accomplished was to draw the attention of the average gamer to emulation and ROMs at a time when many of us had no idea it existed, yours truly included. Gandhi said, "Honest disagreement is a good sign of progress." And yes, I just dropped Gandhi's name on a video about ROMs. But yes, I think emulation is progress, especially for discontinued hardware. But is Nintendo having an honest disagreement with gamers and ROM sites? Or simply trying to muscle out websites of old ROMs based on many games they don't sell anymore, because profit dictates so? What I'm trying to say is, once upon a time, ROMs and emulation were just a playful thought in some programmer's head. And now, it's reality. Like it or not, they are both part of gaming today as any other successful platform once was or still is. Stop shutting down sites, Nintendo. Because when it comes to gamers, we are some stubborn mofos. And no matter what you do to delay progress, know that its arrival is inevitable. That's it for now, guys. Let me know in the comments section what your opinion is on ROMs and the lawsuit. I am working on a new video about ROM sites. Thank you so much for your support and watching. Please hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Happy gaming. Please hit like and this icon to subscribe.